Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And joining me today is Casey Hamilton. Welcome.
Hey, how you guys doing?
welcome, Casey. How are you today?
Great, I'm great.
Awesome. Well, it is great to have you here this morning, the 1st of August. Love that. Welcome. The way how we like to kick things off here is to have our guests introduce themselves to our audience and let them know a little bit about your background and experience. So let's start with that.
Sure. My name is Casey Hamilton. You guys probably know me from YouTube. I used to be a YouTube content creator. I used to do a little web series called Judy's back in the day. Most recently, I'm the author of a book, a novel called Men After 10, which is out right now.
Yes, lovely. Well, actually, let me ask you about this. What, of course, it's your love for storytelling that got you into the YouTube biz in the first place, and how did that kind of transition work from that kind of storytelling format to writing a novel?
Um, that's an interesting question. Doing the web series was a lot of fun, but it was really hard because we were really different from a lot of other web series that were out at the time because we didn't really have a crew. I didn't have any experience with production. I just wanted to write. And I had this concept for so long and I just got tired of sitting on it. So I started out doing Judy's with just like a camcorder. And I just rounded up some friends and friends of friends. And we made a little run it and gun it web series out of it. And, people seemed to like it. And after the web series ended, it ended kind of abruptly. And I said my next project that I do, I want it to be 100% in control of it. And I don't like not being able to tell a story through no fault of my own. So I feel like a novel is like daunting of a task as it seemed like at the time. I knew it was something that that I could commit to finishing. And it just involved me. It didn't matter if this person showed up to rehearsal or didn't. It's just all on me, which is a lot of pressure, but I rather hold myself up than, rely on others.
Certainly. I get the feeling. Now, Men After 10, talk to me about the title and how you came up with that and how that kind of intertwines or represents what the story is about.
Well, the title, it has quite a few different meanings. It's what I call a nocturnal novel. Most of the
Mm.
stories take place at night. It's very much about the activities of Black gay men at night, especially because that's when the hookup apps are kind of at their
Mhm,
peak usage.
mhm.
So yeah, it just seemed like a perfect title.
I love that. I love that. And so, talk to me about the story of Men After 10 and what inspired you uh,
um,
to start writing it.
Well, it's actually several different stories. It's kind of
Ah,
like interwoven stories of these strangers and friends. The
mhm,
thing that they have in common is that there's the hookup app called Men After 10. It's also the name of the app, which is like their version of Jacked.
mhm.
And it just one person's story weaves into the next person's story. This person may have hooked up with this person and saw them in just as one light in this chapter, and then you kind of get to know a little bit more about the other side of that hookup. So it's very much about the Black gay experience and
Mhm.
how hard it is being Black, being gay, and being online, and it really, really gets into the nitty gritty of the culture, really.
Oh, yes, I love that. I love that. And it's a story that, so many of us experience, but not one that is told a lot when it comes to, like books or films or everything. We're seeing a bit of it now, but everyone's story is unique, and in that way there's always something new to share from these different stories and these different experiences. What has the response been like from friends and strangers?
Um, it's been really good. I mean, being a writer is hard. So
Mhm.
there's days like just I think last week I was having just kind of like a bad day. I was not in the best of spirits, and I got this DM from this guy, and I don't even know where. He was way overseas. He was a black guy though. And he sent me a DM and somehow he knew about my novel and he read it. And it was like the sweetest thing. And it was just so inspiring that someone from that far off could still relate and it had an impact on someone. So, reasons like that are why you choose to tell a story. So yeah, it's been an overall a very nice response. I just
That's
want more people
great.
to find out about the book.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the process of doing it. As you said, writing is hard, and sitting down and getting that book together, getting that novel together, it's an entire process. Tell me something that you learned during that process that made you better coming out of it, that now when you go on to your next project, you're like, okay, I know this, so this is what I'm going to do, or this is what I'm not going to do.
I don't know. I think each, writing project is different. And they say that your first book is like your most personal. So I can only speak for what this experience was. It really was like my baby.
Yeah.
It was so many things that I had to do. Like, I've always been writing, but when you're writing a novel, you really have to get in the habit of writing every day, no excuses. And I wrote this novel in LA. LA is nothing but sunshine and, beautiful weather. And, it's the last thing you probably want to do is be holed up inside in a coffee shop or at home writing a book and I had to, sacrifice a lot of things, a lot of, beach trips I couldn't make because I'm sorry, I gotta write. It's a very solitary experience. And that was hard. So, that's one of the things is just getting in the habit of writing every day. It's the discipline of it all. So discipline is like the number one thing I learned.
Certainly. And I know you've also done an audiobook for the novel. Talk to me about that experience and that process, because I've heard from other writers and it seems like it's a lot. So tell me about your experience doing it.
It is a lot. It's its own little project. But I love that process. Even before I had written the book, I was already thinking about the day I would get to record the audio because even when I was doing Judy's, I just love voiceovers. Like, I love watching movies and I love the ones that have an effective use of voiceovers. Like, I used to love Sex and the City and Carrie's little voiceovers, Sarah from Clueless. I love voiceovers. So I love being in the studio and I love that part of it. It was hot and sweaty because I did it last summer in Asheville, North Carolina, of all places. Don't even ask me how I ended up out there. But I love that experience because I just love being in the studio. And, you're bringing your own words to life. So that was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole process.
And I imagine while you're recording the audiobook, it's like you're telling the story again, you're seeing the story again. And now that you're saying it out loud and doing it, you're even visualizing it more in a different way. I imagine that was also your experience.
Yeah, that was the fun part of it because you get to try on different voices and, just hearing your voice back and super high quality like that. Like, I didn't realize my voice was so raspy. You hear different things and, all of that. But that part was definitely fun. Yeah, I can't wait to do it again.
Awesome. Saying doing it again. So are you working on a new project?
I definitely am. I consider myself a novelist these days. So I am, starting my next book. I'm blessed to, have a new vision or a new story. It's a lot different from Men After 10. Just challenging myself to the next level. So
I love that. I love that so much. Now, talk to me. What advice would you give to other people out there who are, looking to, start their writing? They may not even start, but they've always been writing. They've been writing, but, ready to put something out there, especially when they come from, minority communities and, all of that, Black, queer, people of color. What advice would you give to them?
There's quite a few things I would say. Since I have a book out, I tell people, I wrote a book and, things like that. And people are like, oh, I want to write a book. I've met so many people that want to write a book, that feel like they have a story and they want to write a book. But it's really just the thing you have to do. It took me 3 years to write this book. Those 3 years, I didn't really talk about it. I didn't tweet about it. I didn't, I finished a chapter. Let me post a little excerpt online and see how people respond. No, it's either your book is done or it's still a work in progress.
Yep.
So it's really something you have to live with. And like I said, that discipline thing, you have to develop that. You have to develop a relationship with you. This book became my best friend for 3 years. These
Mm-hmm.
characters, they became very familiar to me because I worked with them every day for 3 years. So writing is really a process of doing, not talking about doing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just something, there's no excuse. Like it was hard for me to get in the habit of writing every day. But hey, I get a lunch break every day. So that's an hour I would use that hour to write. And it was just no excuses. If the sun was out or if it wasn't, I was writing. So I would just stress
Certainly.
the discipline and just do it and don't talk about doing it.
There you go. There you go. That is a great way to put it. Now, how can people, keep up with you, find out more about you, follow you, and of course, where can they get the novel and the audiobook?
Yes. So my name on social medias is Recreational Drama. On Twitter, I think it's RECREATL Drama. My website is recreationaldrama.com. The book and audiobook is available through Amazon, Audible, Barnes and Noble, pretty much everywhere books are sold online. Also through my publisher, Amble Press, which is an imprint of Bywater Books. So yeah, it's out now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Casey. And thank you so much for being here with us today. I wish you as much success
Yeah.
for this project and for future projects. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Those watching, please follow Team Racine Productions at Team Racine on all forms of social media. Click around our YouTube channel and check out our other interviews, blogs, forums, and more. And while you're at it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.